Alrighty, welcome back, fellas. I know it's been a while, but we are back, and today I want to go ahead and focus on all of the important information that we have been getting through data downloads as we head into the Saiyan Day celebration. So this is going to be like a bit of a prep guide, if you will, just informing you of what's going to be happening. Of course, at the time I'm recording this, the Saiyan Day celebration is already live. It is happening right now, but I've been meaning to make this video for the past few days. I just haven't been able to get around it, but I still want to go ahead and do this, talk about all of the important stuff, like breaking down the kits and the animations for the new characters, for the new Saiyan Day characters, like the Kid Goku right here, the Easy for the Path to Power Kid Goku and other characters, talking about the World Tournament stuff, all sorts of important stuff like that, as well as some lesser important stuff like new battle motion. So there's a lot of stuff to cover today. I'm very excited for this. I hope you guys are excited, and I hope you guys will enjoy the vid. If you do, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 1K subs, and your support means so much to me in that respect, helping us get closer to that goal. So that means, show your support, subscribe to the channel right there. Also, comment down below your thoughts. Let me know, what do you guys think about the new Saiyan Day character, the kits and everything? Let's go ahead and get started, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about. But of course, first thing is first, we have the data download information. So of course, shout out to Proton 10 MG, one of the GOATs when it comes to data download information. I love Proton 10 MG. Of course, we don't talk, he and I, but he's just, he knows he's a GOAT, right? Like, he already knows. But I mean, when we talk about the data download, there's a lot of stuff to cover here. Of course, we got the data download information also added into Dokkan info because the data download took place. So, of course, it's all shown right here. But, of course, when we look at that data download again, right, so we got the information for the new Kid Goku, our Saiyan Day character, the side banner Kid Chi-Chi, a new World Tournament, Easy and everything. We have revamped stages for Team Bardock and Ginyu Force. So, basically what they did is they reset the stages. So, if you do all 6 stages on the Team Bardock stage and 6 stages on the Ginyu Force stages, you'll get a total of 12 new Dragon Stones. So, take advantage of that, of course. We got a new stage for the Dokkan event right here for the new Kid Goku, of course. We got a new stage for intensifying fights. We have a new stage to look forward to for Dragon Ball Daima, right, stage 7. We have a new Red Zone stage for Dragon Ball Sagas and everything. We have the Easy for physical Path to Power Kid Goku. We have a new Battlefield, which is out right now. A new World Tournament to look forward to. A new Peton Battle right there. So, all sorts of stuff. A new Burst Mode. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Honestly, there is so much here. So, I mean, yeah, obviously, we talked about the stages and everything. This is kind of like a minor thing, I will say, in the grand scheme of things, but this is something that you guys have to do. If you guys have already beaten Team Bardock and Ginyu Force and got the teams, that's fine. Just do these stages again. You have to do them manually, of course, but when you do them, you're getting 12 free Dragon Stones in total, so why not, right? Like, that will add to your summons and everything, so why not do it? But there's a lot of stuff like that, of course. Let me see if I can, like, find what else we have here. So we have the producer letter right here. So this was the first bit of, big information that we saw for, like, the Saiyan Day information. I was actually going to make a vid on this specifically, and then things in real life started to cascade for me, so I just couldn't get organized. So that's on me. I apologize for that, guys. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff, of course. They were kind of saying, like, thank you for the 10th anniversary and everything, because that was going to end basically a few days ago, so that's already over now. But now we're going into the Saiyan Day campaign. You see Kid Goku and everything. You see the missions. I will say, talk about the missions right here. So they do mention right here, during the campaign, you can get up to 17 Dragon Stones just doing the daily missions. Also, if you do the special missions, you can get 16 more Dragon Stones on top of that. So, of course, important stuff right there to pay attention to. We have our new Kid Goku right here, so we'll see him, of course. He has a unit super. We'll talk about his kid in just a sec. We have a support campaign for his Dokkan medals, a new Red Zone stage, so all sorts of stuff like that. A new support pack right here, and also the EZA officially confirmed for Path to Power Kid Goku. So that's what the producer letter kind of did for us. Obviously, we have a lot of that information out now, so this is kind of irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, but I want to go ahead and focus on this because this was the first big piece of information that we got. So this is like the teaser, if you will, but there is a lot of important stuff that came because of that. But first things first, let me go ahead and check out the animations. I have still not really seen the animations for the Kid Chi-Chi and for like the new Kid Goku and everything, so let's go ahead, check out the animations, then we'll go ahead and talk about the kits and everything in greater detail. So let's go ahead and check these out. So Kid Chi-Chi, of course, both are T-Wars, that I do know, so I don't know what the super's gonna be. This is actually not too bad, actually, for a sidebender character. I wish there was more cape movement. Oh, I heard he had a really fire intro. I heard the Kid Goku had a really fire intro. Oh, this has got to hit you in the feels, right? Like, OG Dragon Ball fans, this got to hit you in the feels. OG Dragon Ball fans are eating so good off of this, actually. So this is like an active, I guess. Why is this the active? Why is this is a very silly. This man has better fishing skills than me. That's crazy. Okay. I didn't even think about it. We didn't even see the super yet. I was gonna just pause the vid. Rock, paper, scissors, or rock, scissors, paper, I guess. And that's Grandpa Gohan's theme. So this is not his theme, actually, right? But the unit's super, too. So yeah, so this is with Bulma. why do they call it the miraculous romantic adventure? They are not romantic with each other. Like, I feel like that sends the wrong message if you're not a Dragon Ball fan. Like, you may misinterpret that, right? I like the glow in his eyes. That's actually really clean. You know what, I will say, for animations, they're not the most outstanding animations. I would actually probably argue that in some respects, despite the feeling of this one, I feel like the animations for Saiyan Day Vegeta last year may have been slightly better. Maybe I'm being a bit of a hater in that respect, so I'm sorry if I'm hating, but you know, I think certain parts of the animations aren't as clean to me as the Saiyan Day Vegeta. I will say the best thing about this for me, more than anything, is the feels. You see Goku and Bulma right there with the unit super. Of course, you see the rock, scissors, paper is really cool right there. I wouldn't say like it's the craziest thing, but it's still pretty cool, of course. The active is pretty funny. I'm still not sure why they decided to show the whole process of him just like fishing and everything, but it's still funny, I guess. The intro. This intro has got some special feels. I mean, look at the way they do the lighting and everything. This is, man, like, I need to rewatch. I need to watch OG Dragon Ball again, because like I've seen parts of it, but I haven't seen the full like story of OG Dragon Ball like from top to bottom. So I need to watch that. But I mean, this is some special stuff right there, of course. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and check out these kits, of course, because that is the important stuff. So of course, when we talk about the kits for Kid Goku, right? So we'll start with Kid Goku. Dragon Ball Saga lead, Earthbred Fighters lead. I know a lot of people have already broken down the kits and the leads and everything, so I am a bit late to the party to say the least. But I still want to go ahead and do this for the sake of being a completionist in a sense. But yeah, so for the lead, right, you know, 200% HP, 170% to attack and defense, giving that boost to Dragon Ball Saga and Earthbred Fighters especially, that is a massive boost right there, so I love that. Also, the extra 50% for characters in Youth or Dragon Ball Seekers, so a bit more of a niche kind of set of categories there, but Earthbred Fighters, right, that being like one of his main leads, that is one of the best things about Kid Goku, because Dragon Ball Saga, if it was like Dragon Ball Saga and Dragon Ball Seekers, that could be a very niche kind of set of categories, and that could be a pretty bad lead. But Earthbred Fighters does a lot to give Goku extra value in a lot of other teams. Like, you can put the 10th anniversary fusions in his team. Like, you wouldn't get the full lead, but you'll still get, like, the base part, right? So that's important. For the supers, right? So I did here is a stacking character. Raises attack and defense on the 12-key basic super right here in the unit super. Cause immense damage to the enemy. With the basic super, he has built-in guaranteed seal against the opponent. With the unit super, it is a built-in guaranteed stun. Worth mentioning, neither are Ki Blast supers, but the 12-key super is a melee super. So, important stuff right there in case you're facing like Kid Buu, I guess, because Kid Buu nullifies unarmed melee supers, right? So important stuff right there. The unit super can be done when there's an ally whose name includes Bulma in the same turn. To be honest, we need a new Bulma, because I don't feel like there's a lot of great Bulmas that we can use right now, but if we get another new Bulma, I wouldn't be mad at that. I think that would help this Goku a lot. But still, you know, pretty easy activation condition. You don't necessarily need this, right? Because he's still stacking right here. So I think they planned for that on purpose, but still pretty good stuff right there. Activates the intro. We saw the beautiful intro right there. When there's another Dragon Ball Saga Youth or Dragon Ball Seekers category ally attacking the same turn upon the character's entry. So that kind of sucks, because I mean, it makes sense. You want to probably pair them with Dragon Ball Saga characters anyways for the links. But at the same time, like, if it was just Earthbred Fighters as well, that would make things so much easier, right? So that would have been nice. But with the intro, right, so launches additional guaranteed super and increases damage reduction by 40% for the first 7 turns. That is really good, because that helps him with his stacking, so that's really good there. With the basic effects, so attack and defense plus 200%, 20% damage reduction built in. Launches additional has a great chance to become a super. Reminder, he's an AGL unit, so his 55% hit potential is also free to play additionals right there, so that'll help with the stacking again. When attacking with 12 or more ki, attack plus 100%, 55% chance of performing a guaranteed crit within a turn, and 22% chance of evading enemies' attack within a turn. I'll come back to this in just a sec, because I want to point something out here that was really like promoted throughout Twitter for me, so I did see that, but this is something I want to talk about in just a sec. When receiving an attack, increases defense by 200%. For every super that's performed, attack plus 50% up to 200%, so nice attack boost right there. After doing 7 or more supers in battle, guards all attacks for the rest of the fight, and launches an additional guaranteed super for the rest of the fight as well. So good stuff right there. The active, so recovers 30% HP, ki plus 3, and attack and defense plus 30% in battle. That's actually very strong. Can be done starting from the 3rd turn from the start of battle, so turn 3, that is a very powerful active. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't do that active necessarily, because that is insane. Categories, not the most diversifiable kind of character, right? Dragon Ball Saga, Earthbred Fighters, Youth, Dragon Ball Seekers, Low Class Warrior, which I do love that he's on that, Pure Saiyans, Bond Parent and Child, and Goku's Family. So what is that, like 8 categories? Not the most diversifiable kind of character, but still he's on some other kind of good niche categories, so I do appreciate that, of course. His best linking partner, interestingly, is the 23rd World Tournament Goku. I didn't know that, but there you go, so that's pretty cool right there. But yeah, Goku, he's got some good stuff in his kit, and this is what I want to talk about when it comes to this whole 12-key thing, because Proton did kind of promote this, but basically the way it works is, like, he was kind of like trying to explain this. So basically, this is like the most important thing about Goku's kind of like 12-key gimmicks, right? So assuming he does like a bunch of additionals, right? 3 attacks at 12 key plus, right? For each attack has a 22% chance of proccing a 100% dodge within the turn. So if he doesn't get this to happen on each of the attacks, right, or any of the attacks rather, then he's not going to be dodging, right? But you know, going back to Goku, right, assuming he's doing like 3 or 4 additionals, each additional has its own chance of getting that guaranteed crit and its own chance of, you know, boosting his dodge chance right there, right? So if you get the 22% chance right there to activate, then he's going to be dodging everything guaranteed within the turn, apparently. So if that is indeed the case, this guy is actually very strong. He is a bit of an RNG kind of character, but still, you know, with all the additional supers and everything, he's most likely going to have that happen, and even then, he's still stacking attack and defense to make himself more like tankier anyways, right? So you know, he's a very special character in that respect. I've heard a lot of people say he's the #1 T-War. I haven't wanted to jump onto that boat just quite yet, but, you know, the fact of the matter is there's some really strong T-Wars like Glorio and stuff, and if this Goku is already surpassing them clear-cut by a lot of people, that says a lot. So Goku, he seems very special right there. I am so excited to see what he can do in general. I've been trying to pull for him. I haven't got him yet, but he seems like a very powerful character. Kid Chi-Chi, right? The Sidebender character. 130% lead for Youth or Dragon Ball Saga, okay? Super attack, raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage, and lowers attack and defense, so she can debuff. With the passive, right? So Ki +2, attack and defense plus 200%. Launch an additional that has a high chance to become a super, so 50% chance right there. Super class allies will gain 30% to attack and defense, plus an extra 30% for attack and defense for characters also in Dragon Ball Saga. When attacking with 12 or more ki, medium chance of attack plus 150% on top of the attack plus 100% in general, so that's important right there. For every super attack that's performed, she's boosting her attack, defense, and crit chance by 25% up to 100%. So with 4 supers, she can boost her crit chance to guaranteed crit. So that's actually really awesome right there. When the target enemy is debuffed with attack down, defense down, stun, or I guess that's supposed to be a seal, then she will launch an additional guaranteed super. When there's another youth ally on the team, defense plus 200% and a high chance to dodge. When there's an ally whose name includes Goku attacking the same turn, guards all attacks and defense plus 159% when receiving attack. So she can be quite strong. Not the most categorically diversifiable character either, right? Youth, Dragon Ball Saga, Earthlings, Bond Parent and Child, Earthbred Fighters, but still some nice stuff there. I'm not sure why she's not on Peppy Gals. Maybe there's some reason to that I just don't understand, but not being on Peppy Gals does kind of suck. But other than that, you know, it is what it is. Like, I'm not too mad. It is what it is. But that's all important stuff right there. Also, we do have the EZA for the Path to Power Kid Goku. So when we look at the EZA, right, so this is the EZA kit right now. So Dragon Ball Saga, Youth, or Exploding Rage category, Ki +3 HP attack and defense plus 170%, so that's the same as before, plus the extra 30% for characters in Dragon Ball Seekers or Bond of Friendship. So all that is the same. I believe the only difference is that he's supposed to get 1, yeah, there we go. He's supposed to get 1 key, so that did not show for some reason, I don't think, but he's supposed to give 1 extra key, so that's like a minor update. I still don't think that I'm still not a fan of this type of EZA for the leader skills. I understand the 200% leaders are still pretty good right now, but I wish they gave like maybe more key, just a bit more stats. I don't know, like it's just kind of annoying to me how little they get in terms of leader skill EZAs. But with the super attack effects, right? So with the 12 key, greatly raises attack and raises defense for 1 turn. So 50% on the attack, 30% on the defense, cause immense damage to the enemy. With the unit supers, right? So both unit supers apparently do the same thing, right? So remember he has 2 unit supers, 1 for like the Dragon team and 1 for him with Aider. But, you know, both can massively raise attack, you know, greatly raise defense for 1 turn, cause immense damage to the enemy, and greatly lower attack. So pretty simple stuff right there. With the passive skill, so this is the important stuff right there. Adventure Beyond Adventure, I love the name for that. Attack and defense plus 159%, so not too crazy to start. Dragon Ball Saga, Youth, or Dragon Ball Seekers category allies, Ki +3, and attack and defense plus 50%, so that's insane support. Randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to Rainbow Orb, so a Rainbow Orb changer right there. When attacking with 12 or more key, additional attack and defense plus 159%. For every key sphere obtained, increases attack and defense by 30%, so kind of like a nuker, if you will. For every Rainbow key sphere, increases crit chance and damage reduction by 10% each. With 3 or more key spheres obtained, or 1 or more key spheres obtained as a 3rd slot unit, defense plus 159%. With 5 or more key spheres or 3 or more key spheres obtained as a 3rd slot unit, right? Launch an additional attack that has a great chance to become a super. And right here's like the similar kind of thing right here. So 7 or more key spheres in general, or 5 or more key spheres as the 3rd slot unit. All allies would gain a chance of performing a crit and damage reduction rate increase by 8%. So giving allies additional crit chance and damage reduction, that's huge. And also all allies will gain attack and defense plus 8% for 2 turns. With the active, if I can go ahead and scroll down to that, there we go. Raise attack by 800%, that's still crazy. Temporarily cause damage to the enemy. Within the turn, attacks have a 59% chance to become crits. Can be activated after the character receives 8 or more attacks, receives an attack 8 or more times in battle, or when HP is 59% or less. So all sorts of stuff like that. Also, a more categorically diverse character than the new Saiyan Day character, right? Dragon Ball Saga, Youth, Exploding Rage, of course, Dragon Ball Seekers, Bond of Friendship, Low Class Warrior, Movie Heroes, which is awesome, Pure Saiyans, Kamehameha, Bond of Parent and Child, Earthbred Fighters, Goku's Family. So Yeah, this character seems very strong. He's kind of like Glorio in the sense where you probably want to put him in slot 3, but the good thing about him is that you can also make him work in slot 2. It's just that you probably don't necessarily have to do so for a lot of like the fight until later, once like maybe some other characters get built up and stuff. So he's very strong right there. I actually really do like what he can offer because the nuking ability, his stats and everything, the support, I think all of that is going to be very awesome, very powerful. It does suck that he doesn't link at all with the Saiyan Day character, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like for the Saiyan Day specific kind of stuff right here, these three characters, I like what they have to offer. Now, of course, we still have the World Tournament stuff to talk about because we are going to be getting a new World Tournament. So when we talk about this stuff, so let me just go ahead and focus on these characters, right? So first of all, Jackie Chun right here with his EZA. Let me go ahead and reset the EZA because I don't think it sets itself up. There we go. So the leader skill 100% to his stats for physical type, also keep us 3, so whatever on the leader skill. Super attack, greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, cause supreme damage, greatly lowers defense, so that's alright. Keep us 3, attack and defense plus 100%. All allies keep us 3. Kamehameha allies will gain attack plus 40. Dragon Ball Saga allies will gain defense plus 40%. Earthlings allies will boost their crit chance by 5% at the start of each turn, boosting attack and defense by 50% up to 150%, so 3 turns basically. When attacking with 12 or more ki, attack and defense again increased by 150% when there's a Turtle School ally on the team, randomly changes orbs of a certain type other than physical orbs to rainbow key spheres. For every rainbow key sphere obtained, reduces damage reduction by 10%, so that's going to be kind of helpful for him, right? When HP is 50% or less, one time only for all this stuff, right? Randomly changes, or not randomly, but changes key spheres of the physical orbs to rainbow orbs, gets an additional attack 150%, high chance to perform a crit, and all allies will gain attack and defense plus 20% for 3 turns. All of this is one time only when HP is 50% or less. So Jackie Chun, kind of like a whatever character to me. I'm not gonna lie, his stuff, he's got some interesting stuff, but I'm not too impressed by it. Goku Black, so let's see right here. So 120% and keep us 3, so 120% to the stats for extreme STR type, so okay. Super attack, greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn, cause supreme damage, lowers attack and defense, raise extreme class allies attack by 30% for 2 turns, so the support is nice. Attack and defense plus 150%, future saga allies will gain ki plus 1 and attack and defense plus 20%, time traveler allies will gain ki plus 1 attack and defense plus 20%. For every attack received, attack and defense plus 50% up to 150% when there is a superclass enemy, attack plus 100% when attacking. When the team includes all 5 extreme types, this is a very niche kind of thing right here, so that's maybe kind of annoying. All allies will gain attack plus 20% within the attacking turn, within the character's attacking turn, excuse me, and defense plus 100% and guards all attacks when attacking, okay? When there's another ally whose name includes Zamasu or Goku Black in the same turn, attack and defense plus another 200%, great chance of performing a crit, and all allies will gain defense plus 20%. So, some good stuff to offer, but the problem with Goku Black is that in general, the future Saga team is not that great anymore, and that includes all the Goku Blacks, right? So that is kind of like an issue right there where you're like, why would I run Goku Black necessarily with other Goku Blacks and Zamasus when none of them are necessarily that cracked, right? So that's something important right there. I kind of dropped something right there, so I was looking for that. But yeah, Gotenks. Let's check out Gotenks right here, because Gotenks I think is the last kind of easy character before we look at the new Krillin, right? So yeah, so Gotenks raised attack and defense, so he's stacking now, which is awesome. 90% to attack, defense, and HP, and keep us 3 for super tech, so the leader skill is not that great, but it is what it is. Lowers defense with the super as well, so that's really awesome. Attack and defense plus 100%, changes keys for his AGL to tech type orbs, nice. Youth and fusion category allies will gain ki plus 1 each, attack plus 20% and defense plus 10%, so that can kind of combine together. With 3 or more key spheres, attacking and defense plus 100% when attacking. If it's 3 or more tech key spheres, launches an additional as a medium chance to become a super. With 5 or more tech key spheres, launches an additional as a high chance to become a super as well. So 2 additional right there, plus his basic super stacking, so he can do some nice stuff. But again, you know, I wouldn't say it's too crazy. I think he can do really well in the new Festival of Battles challenge, you know, the hardest fight in Dokkan history. But other than that, you know, I don't see a lot of value for Gotenks. I will say this EZA batch for these 3, like, World Tournament characters, not too great for me. Alright, let's see what Krillin has to offer. So 70% to his stats, ki plus 2 for super tech type, okay? Greatly raise attack and defense 1 turn, cause supreme damage to the enemy. Attack and defense plus 150%. Tournament participant category allies, ki plus 1 and defense plus 20%. Plus additional ki plus 1 attack and defense plus 20% for characters also in World Tournament. If HP is 90% or less, attack and defense plus 100%. Another 100% if HP is 70% or less. When attacking with 12 more ki, 150% to attack and defense. Great chance to get an attack plus 200% when HP is 50% or less. So he gets stronger as you get weaker. And when there's a tournament participant's enemy, attack plus 30%, defense plus 40% when attacking. So he's cool, nothing too crazy, you know, it is what it is. Alright, let's keep going. So we talked about the World Tournament characters, that's pretty much all the characters right there. Let's go ahead and look at the rest of the stuff right here. So we talked about the World Tournament stuff, the intensifying fight stuff and all that, right? So I do kind of want to focus on that, because that's pretty much like the last thing I want to cover, actually, we also do have the banner out, so I did make a separate vid. Actually, let me talk about that. I made a separate vid on Should You Summon, so I recommend you guys check that out, but the banner is out right now, so you guys can see what the banner has to offer, but I did make a separate vid on Should You Summon, so definitely check that out, because I'll share my thoughts on the banner in greater detail, but it's still a pretty interesting banner overall. Of course, we have the Intensifying Fight Stage 6, so, you know, that's going to have its own missions and everything down here. You have to beat Jackie Chun specifically, and also you have to beat it with a team full of 6 youth category characters, so that can be kind of tricky, but Gotenks will fit that, so of course, 3 Dragon Ball Saga stages right now, you may get more, but the third stage asks you to beat it with a team full of at least 4 Dragon Ball Saga characters, so some stuff right there. The last thing I want to talk about before we go ahead and wrap this up is some new battle motions. So we got some new battle motions. Of course, you already saw one right there. But yeah, I mean, we got new battle motions for the Dragon Ball Super Broly Gogeta. So Super Saiyan Gogeta and Super Saiyan Gogeta Blue or whatever, right? Both are going to get new battle motions. So let's go ahead and check this out because both seem really crazy right here. So let's see. So Super Saiyan Gogeta right here, that is fire. That is so fire. The flash of brilliance, if you will, like from him going Super Saiyan, that's awesome, like when he transformed. Gogeta Blue, though, yeah, I mean, come on, that takes the cake. The pose right there, like, this is fire, I will say, but once the aura goes away, right, it's just his aura around him. That's cool, but it's not as great to me as, like, the Super Gogeta from, like, the movies, right, because I like that the aura is still flowing around him and everything, but this is still really cool and everything. His, like, whatever you call it, like, the tie around his, like, waistband or whatever, that's still flowing, so that's cool, but Gogeta Blue, come on now, like, this is insane. This is actually fire. The way the aura shines with that purple and everything, that's really sick. It's not encapsulating the whole screen like the Tech Blues, but still, that's really awesome. His pose, that's fire. We all know it. I mean, the game knows it, the devs know it, so we love to see it. But yeah, that's just like the final thing I want to cover because that's a minor thing, but still something that was kind of shown to us and it is so cool. But there you go. So we talked about all of the information. I apologize for you guys because I'm sure that was a lot of information dumping. I will leave chapters in the vid for you guys and for myself to kind of organize things. But yeah, there you go. So let me know again, what do you guys think about the new Saiyan Day characters, about the new World Tournament characters, about all the content we are getting for Saiyan Day, because it seems like a lot of content, I'm not gonna lie. If you guys have been summoning for the Saiyan Day character, let me know how your guys' summons have been going. If you guys enjoyed the vid, again, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 1K subs, so your support means a lot to me in terms of reaching that goal, of course. So your subscriptions, you know, that helps a lot of, you know, subscribing to the channel and everything. I'm still bad with these outros. I gotta work on that. But, you know, again, comment down below your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think about the Saiyan Day character. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, stay blessed. I will see you, take care, you guys. And thank you guys so much. I will see you all in the next one.